Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel today. This is Paul again from Kentucky Tacklebox. Today I want to talk about using some crankbait lures for springtime fishing and actually any time of the year really. Crankbaits are one of those type of lures you can just about use year round and have pretty good success with them. But what makes them pretty effective in the springtime is that as the water temperatures are slowly warming up, the bass still for the most part tend to be hugging the bottom of the water column, just because it's the warmer water is down there with the inversion of the water that happens late in fall, and then um, and then depending on how severe the winter is and how much it drops the ambient water temperature in the lake or river that you're fishing, the fish will just typically tend to go towards the bottom and just kind of hang out there. Sometimes you'll pull up fish and you'll see debris on their bellies because they've been really just almost burrowing into the soil at the bottom of the body of water that you're fishing, just to help stay warm. But in any ways, and because they're down there, you want to consider using a crankbait lures. Now, I have several different sizes here, and I keep a pretty good variety of crankbaits in my tackle box. And some of the reasons for this is that it's not only the size that's important, but it's how far the crankbait actually dives in the water that's important as well. And what I mean by that is, I'll start with this one here. This one is made by Strike King. It's called a Strike King 1.0 crankbait, and this is what's called a shallow diver. It's designed to dive only about 2 to 4 feet in the water column. And then the next step up would be, it's also made by Strike King. This one is a 1.5 series, and this is designed to dive from 3 to 5 feet. So you can see I'm kind of specking out different lures based on the water depth. And then the top two are both Berkeley flicker sheds. This one's a number 5, and this one goes between 7 and 9 feet of depth. And then the next one up is a Berkeley flicker shed 7, which is I think 11 to 13. Maybe it's might be 9 to 11 or 11 to 13. I can't remember exactly, but it's one of the two. And the reason being is that if you're bank fishing, a lot of times you're going to have shallower areas of drop off near the shore. So a lot of times the shallower running crankbaits, like the two on the bottom, might be more to what you're looking for. But if you're out in a boat and you can access other parts of water where there's the deeper ledges or ridges, then you may want to definitely consider something that's going to dive a little deeper to get you down near where the fish are at. So with that said, the other thing I look at is comparing these lures. If you take a look, most of them have similarly sized treble hooks. The smallest one being the Berkeley Flicker Shed 5, and it's just maybe one size smaller than the rest of them. And then the Strike King 1.5, I noticed looking at the hooks, they're actually quite a bit bigger than all of the other bait hooks. These two here are almost identical. I think they are identical. This one here is like a size or so smaller, but it's a smaller lure. But this one's only slightly larger than the 1.5, slightly larger than the 1.0, but yet the hooks are quite substantially bigger. If I back up the trebles side by side, you can kind of see that there's a pretty good size difference between them. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm actually going to remove the trebles off of the 1.5, and I'm going to reduce the size of them just because I feel that that will do a better job catching fish. So I went through my tackle box and I found a couple of smaller trebles here that should do the trick. And both of these are the same diameter treble. The only difference being that the one of them has a slightly longer shank than the other. This one is a shank that's maybe an eighth of an inch longer than this one. So the way I'm going to configure this is I will put the shorter shank treble in the front and the longer in the back. And you could really do it either way. There's really not a right or wrong answer to do that. But after this video is over, I'm going to remove the trebles and I'll just switch them over. And basically, some guys use split ring pliers. I typically use things like a set of 4 sifts and a eyeglass screwdriver that comes in your eyeglass kits in the supermarket. And those for me work pretty good. That and allows me just to open up this allows me to pinch the side of the split ring, and then I can use this teeny blade on the eyeglass screwdriver to open the split ring so I can slide it off. So that works good. But whatever works good for you, whether you have split ring pliers or if you use something like I do, that's it doesn't matter as long as it does the job for you. That's really all you need. But anyway, that's why I have a variety of crankbaits in my tackle box. And I would recommend if you like crankbait fishing, I'm sure you probably already have the same as me. If you're getting new into crankbait fishing, consider having a few different options, especially depth wise. And then also, it's not a bad idea to lay them out on your table so to make sure that the hooks are all similarly sized. Because like I say, this 1.5, I think the hooks on this are a bit overkill for the size of the lure. So I'm going to downsize it, and I think it'll work a little more effectively. Because sometimes what you'll find when you're fishing is too small of a hook or too big of a hook can cause you problems. You want to try to find that middle ground. And I think you'll find that by doing that, you'll have a lot better luck catching the fish that you're after. So as always, we're starting to get into some better weather here in Kentucky, and it's supposed to finally start warming up after a couple of days of cold weather here this past week. So I plan to get outdoors, and I hope you do as well. So get outside when you can. It's a great place to be. And thanks again for watching the channel. We'll see you next time. Bye.